You have been seeing films from. We're gonna get to Ahsoka, I promise. But Alan, you've been seeing films from the Toronto Film Festival, and you've got a
Yes.
couple of reviews for us. Can you
Yeah.
tell
So
us what you've seen? Tell us what the Toronto Film Festival is. Why the Toronto Film Festival is one of the most important festivals, along with like Sundance, South by Southwest, Cannes. It's a very international festival. I happen to know a lot about the Toronto Film Festival.
yeah.
I used to go back in the
Yeah.
day when I lived in Michigan because it was a quick train ride from Windsor. But
And it may
Toronto,
make an appearance in the Film Threat Sucks documentary.
yes, I think it's going to make an appearance in the Film Threat Sucks documentary. But Alan, you've been covering movies from Toronto. Tell us what you've seen and give us some quick capsule reviews.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's say it this way: Toronto Film Festival. It's happening now, kind of the end of summer, early fall, and this is kind of where the studios roll out the big films. And so, Dumb Money played there. In previous years, all the Oscar nominees played Toronto Film Festival. Not so much this year, but we know why. Um, and so it's an important film festival that way because it's where all the press comes together. They have access to everybody, all the great movies in previous years, and so this is the start of the big Oscar push. So this year we have three writers there actually, and if you go to filmthreat.com, the reviews are starting to roll out for that. But I've personally seen two of the films at Toronto Film Festival. The first is Boy Kills World, which which was produced by Sam Raimi, directed by Moritz Moore, and stars uh, uh, why am I blanking on the name? The Skarsgård guy, the young one that was in John Wick. Do you know? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Pennywise.
Yeah, what's his name?
He was also in Barbarian. You
Yeah, what's
should
his
look
first
it up.
name?
Here's what I do to prep for the show, Alan, is I'll put the name of the movie. I'll
Yeah,
look
you
up
know
the
what?
movie that I got.
I reviewed it, and I just can't remember the name right now. I'm just
Okay, am
blanking
I
on it.
gonna look this up for you
You don't know his first name?
in a minute? Yeah, it's Bill
Uh,
Skarsgård.
Bill Sarsgaard. There we go. Stars Bill Sarsgaard. He plays a boy who lives in this dystopian future. It's being run by Famke Johnson, who is the totalitarian fascist who runs the world. And his family was killed. The little boy's family was killed. He is raised by a shaman to become a killing machine, and he has one purpose in life, and that's to kill Hilda Vandergaard, who killed his family. And like a good action movie, he just has to go through all these mini bosses. Um, so this film comes out. This film started filming just after he did John Wick 4, and his characters are very different. In this one, Bill Sarsgaard, he goes to the ringer. He becomes a fighter, and it's just nonstop action. And I actually interviewed the director Moritz Moore on the Film Threat interview channel, and we kind of go through it. Stellar cast. Famke Johnson's in it. Charlton Copley is in it. Uh, let's see, Andrew Koji, Isaiah Mustafa, and Brett Gelman. And Brett Gelman is just hilarious in this one. It's going to come out probably sometime next year, but I really enjoyed it. It's brutal violence. Unlike John Wick 4, which was mostly gun and knife play, this is just people beating each other up. And there are a lot of guns and there are a lot of knives in it as well. And it's just this crazy story. And so definitely definitely recommend it. Andrew Koji, someone's bringing it up here. He's almost unrecognizable, and he's great. He puts on this very uh, South African accent and it grows a massive beard. So that's Boy Kills World, directed produced by Sam Raimi, and we talk about in that interview what's it like to have your film produced by Sam Raimi, and Moritz has a lot of good things to say about it. The second movie I saw was Stop Making Sense, and so this is a re-release of the famous Talking Heads concert film. It has been converted to IMAX, and so the two good things happen here. One is they found the original negative, so it's a direct transfer from negative to IMAX. And then second, the sound has been completely remastered. And when you go to this film and you see it in IMAX, you will swear that you're actually watching and hearing the concert. The sound is incredible. And you know, it's if you're a big fan of if you were a big fan when Stop Making Sense first came out, you're gonna absolutely love this version of it. And A24 put it out, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna come to theaters probably by the end of the year. But you know, it's incredible. The transfer looks great on the IMAX screen, and again, the sound. They're able to isolate instruments and then move it around the screen, around the room, and so you know, go for it. This is a great one. So those are the 2 films I saw from Toronto.
Well, I guess the best thing you could say is just go to filmthreat.com to check out
Mm,
all the reviews from Toronto. You're not the only one covering it. I saw Stop Making Sense when it first came out,
mhm.
and I thought it was fine. I'm not as big of a Talking Heads fan as a lot of people. I thought the movie was overrated when I first saw it. I've come to appreciate it,
Mhm.
because the big thing they promoted was directed by Jonathan Demme. Why did they push a director in such a big way when shouldn't you care about the musicians?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
I thought
mean, it's
I'd
kinda
like to
interesting
see it.
'cause I'll just say that the after my screening, they had a interview with, the Talking Heads, with Spike Lee, moderating it, and they did talk about what was Jonathan Demme's role, and a lot of it just had to do with maintaining some kind of a story, um, from the actual concert. You know, this was the concert they toured with, and
Right.
you know, I think your feeling about it was whether you know, I mean, how big a fan of the Talking Heads were you?
It's
You know?
exactly. If I was sort of a moderate fan, I'm like, "Oh, they're okay." I was into different bands when but,
Mhm.
like, I saw this in first run when it came out in the '80s. I was a kid, and I thought, "Why are they making such a big deal about this?" But, I could be convinced to revisit it. It is gonna be opening in theaters, isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, you know, I mean, it's the same concert, but for me, what was it was kind of a throwback to because I when I was going to concerts, it was in the '80s, and that's when this
Right.
came out, and this at least for me, it just brought back a lot of the memories of the concerts that I had gone to, and to see the kind of, you know, yes, overly synthesized, but, it was all about the performance, all about, seeing your favorites on stage and just people having fun on stage. Rather than, you know, if you go to, like, a Taylor Swift concert where it's all overly produced, overly choreographed. This yes, there is production here and there's choreography here, but it's just people having fun. And the sound, again, the sound, that's, I can't say anything more about the sound. It's great.
So, do you recommend both of these movies, Boy Kills World and Stop Making Sense?
Absolutely,
Cool.
absolutely.